Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at the first classical guitar warm-up recipe. The reason I call it a recipe is because it's going to exercise 5 different foundational things that you need to be able to do on the classical guitar. Basic coordination exercises with your right hand, as well as a basic scale, basic arpeggio exercise, and some slurs. These 5 things need to be exercised every day, and if you do it and keep track of it, you can keep track of it with my awesome practice journal template. If you click up here, as well as in the description, you can claim one. If you keep track of how you're doing with these, you're going to progress very, very quickly and very well. This is something that should be done every day, and your warm-up is just as important as the rest of your practice, and maybe even more important. This is the stuff that's going to make you get really good technique that you don't have to think about, technique that you can execute quickly and in a relaxed fashion. It's also going to help you build your tone, which in my opinion is probably the most important aspect of anyone's playing, is their tone. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first exercise. This exercise, I did this exclusively on classical. I didn't do anything but this exercise for 3 months when I first picked this up. And within a year and a half of playing, I was accepted under Jonathan Leithwood at the university, and that's hard to do. And I attribute a lot of that to this exercise, as well as to the fact that I had a really good teacher named Ben Cantu who really pushed me and introduced me into so many amazing concepts I just can't even describe it. So if you ever have a chance to study with Ben, do it. Without further ado, let's take a look at our first exercise, the basic right hand coordination exercise. Okay. To start, we're going to be using our index as well as our middle finger alternating across each string, and we're going to hit each string 4 times. Here are a couple principles that I'd like you to keep in mind. 1, you are plucking from the big knuckle, and you're plucking into your hand like this. 2, as you move from string to string, you're going to be resting your thumb a couple strings from the ones that you're plucking, and you're going to move your arm to move your hand. So don't use your wrist to kind of move your hand like this, but use your arm so that the thing travels. Also, use a metronome. I'm not going to be using a metronome in this video, but if you use a metronome, set it at about 50 or so. That'll be a very slow click, and just do 1 note per click. You'll see at the exercise above that I'm going to be hitting each string with quarter notes, and of course you can check out my Rhythm Made Easy series here to know how to count those. Now when you get it good on 50, then you should bump it up to about 52 to 53 or so, and then after that 56, 58, 60, 62. Just bump your metronome up a couple at a time, but make sure that you don't speed this up very quickly. You're never actually going to perform this exercise. This exercise is so that you learn to do this properly. Now when you execute your stroke, you're not going to just attack the string like this, right? You want to actually touch it, and you're going to be pushing it kind of inwards towards the top until it releases off of your finger, like so. And you'll be getting a very good tone that way. So now we're going to go index, middle, index, middle. So the first part of each pluck is to actually pluck the string. The second part is just to relax your finger and allow it to go back on its own. You don't move it back. You have to play in a way that you relax between each stroke so that your hand remains relaxed throughout your playing period. So what we get is index, middle, 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 index. Just let it kind of ring out at that point. Do it very, very slowly, making sure that you're plucking from the big knuckle. The only reason these knuckles even move is because it's just awkward to move, not to move them. So it's essentially that you're plucking from the big knuckle, and it's roughly over the string. Let's take a look at the next exercise. For exercise 2, we're going to use just our thumb. Now notice that I'm going to be plucking from the big knuckle, the knuckle that attaches my thumb to my hand. And also, my thumb and my fingers are going to be making kind of a triangle shape. Now, when you pluck, you do not want to get your thumb into your hand here. You just want to get to the side of your finger. So let's take a look at this exercise. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, let's take a look at exercise 3, which is a very basic G major scale in first position. Let's go over the left hand fingerings as well as kind of practice approaches, and then we're going to go over the right hand fingerings. So with the left hand fingerings, we're going to be doing our open G, second fret of the G to get A, open B, first fret of the B to get C, and we're going to get third fret for the D, but notice I'm leaving my index finger down very lightly, and then when I go to open E, I lift them both up. With my second finger, I'm going to get the second fret of the high E, and then with my pinky, the third fret, and then in reverse. Okay, so next, the right hand fingering is a little bit trickier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition my camera here in a moment so that you can take a look at the right hand fingering. So give me just a moment. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the right hand fingers. I'm going to be using what's called rest stroke here. So you see I'm kind of doing the same deal, but I'm playing so that my finger runs into the next string, and the moment it hits that next string, I'm going to relax it. So I'm only going to play open strings here, so you're not going to hear the scale, but I'm going to run you through exactly how this is going to go. So we're going to go middle, index, and then ring, middle, index, ring, middle, index, middle, and then index on the next string, ring, middle, index on the next string, middle, index. So overall what we get is middle, index, ring, middle, index, ring, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, ring, middle, index, middle, index. Okay, our fourth exercise in this recipe, Mauro Giuliani's second exercise from his 120 right-hand studies. Great group of studies. They're very short. They should be done daily, as his title suggests. So let's talk first about the left hand and then about the right hand. I'll switch the camera angle at that point. So first off, we're going to be doing a C major chord and then a G7 chord in first inversion, and we'll be going back to C major. This, if you're wondering what a chord is, check out Music Theory in One Lesson. That's my most popular video on this channel. So it's in the playlist on the channel homepage. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing with the left hand on switching at the proper moment. So of course the C major chord, we have third fret of the A, second fret of the D, first fret of the B, and then the open G and open high E. And to get to the G7, we're actually going to get the second fret of the A, third fret of the B, first fret of the high E, and open D and G. So in order to do this, you're going to have to switch kind of as the fingers are needed. So I'm going to run through the picking pattern in the next camera angle. I just want to make sure that you understand how we switch the fingers here first. So we start going through this picking pattern, and then when I need that next note there, I'm going to switch, and then I need this one, and then I'm going to switch because I need that one. So you kind of want to have them switch when it's appropriate, because A, it'll sound better, and B, you'll actually be able to speed it up a lot better. So we get exercise. So let's take a look at the right hand picking pattern for this. For the right hand, here's my picking pattern. We're going to do thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle. So thumb on the A, index on the B, middle on the high E, thumb on the D, index, middle, thumb on the G, index, middle, thumb on the A, index, middle. Slow at first. Now I'm going to use my left hand as well. So we get, and then I'm going to switch that finger to get the second fret and switch the next two. Okay, the fifth exercise of this warm-up recipe, again, you can check out the practice journal template, which has 5 slots for your daily exercises and also slots for you to write in what your beginning metronome setting is versus your end. Again, at the beginning of the video, I told you how to use a metronome. It's very important that you do this. So we're going to talk about what a slur is and then how to perform them with your left hand. The right hand fingering is just I am for this one, so I'm not going to do an extra camera angle for that. I don't think that you need it. So a slur is what refers to hammer-ons and pull-offs. So we have hammer-ons and we have pull-offs. Now these notes need to sound very loud and clear, so you're going to have to work on them as a separate exercise. A hammer-on, you're going to use your hand to hammer the string right next to the fret and get 2 notes with 1 pluck. And then the pull off, you're actually going to pluck the string, right? So a lot of people will do a pull off where they just pull their finger off. You're actually plucking the string. So with this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to do hammer on from open high E to the 1st fret, and we're going to do hammer on from the 1st fret to the 3rd, and then we're going to pull off and then pull off to the open string. We're going to do that. Have to build a lot of strength for this, and your goal is to get those notes to sound just about as loud as your plucked notes. So with this warm-up exercise routine, and I suggest you stick to this one every day until it becomes very comfortable, and then you move on to the next one, you're going to have 5 things that you're improving upon every single day, and it should take 5 to 10 minutes to do this. Now you need to use a metronome, and you should definitely use the practice journal that I have linked there, the free PDF. It's awesome. I also have online students, so if I have room for you right now, you're welcome to book a lesson with me. If you want to find out more, it's the same step as just download the practice journal and you'll find out more that way. Otherwise, happy practice. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the next video. See you guys. Definitely do not forget to subscribe and like this video.